Hello and welcome to Open Exchange TV. Today we are talking with Tower One Wireless CEO, Alex Ochoa, and we're going to learn a lot more about them today. Thank you for joining us, Alex.
Thank you, Scott.
Alex, let's start with you telling us, who is Tower One Wireless?
Scott, Tower One Wireless is a digital real estate company with a sole focus on telecom infrastructure. And by that, I mean cell phone towers across multiple countries. So the towers that you've seen across many markets, we build, operate, maintain, and lease out to multiple carriers.
Right, and you're currently listed on the OTCQB under the ticker TOWTF as well, correct?
That is correct.
And now, which parts of the world do you operate in?
So we have been operating in principally 5 countries. We started with Colombia, added Argentina, Mexico, United States, and Ecuador. And as we transition into other markets, Canada, which is where we started, is one that we're very active on searching for new opportunities, along with Germany. So to date, it's been those principal 5 countries, and look forward to exploring more.
Now, do you build these towers specifically for customers?
Absolutely. So what we do, Scott, is we never build a tower without an anchor tenant, right? We build a tower with a guaranteed initial tenant. And every time we build these towers, we do it for up to 3 tenants, right? So the process day to day from tower number 1 to tower 10,000 is we get an order from one of the carriers via the AT&T Mexico, Telefonica, the Spanish company, or others that you might know, like América Móvil, owned by Carlos Slim. And what we do is we basically, in a 6-month period, complete what we call site acquisition. And what that is basically they give us a GPS coordinate, a radius around that GPS coordinate, and the height requirement, right? It's our job to go out and secure a property that we would either lease or buy. And what we do is basically on that property, find the permits and go out and build, right? So shortly after that, and I'm talking shortly 35, 45 days, that tower comes into production and cash flow. So that's basically our day-to-day of what we do. And we do that, across multiple countries for multiple carriers.
That's very impressive. Now, you recently announced a deal with Telefonica in Ecuador. Can you talk to us about that?
Absolutely. So it's very exciting to see the work that we've accomplished in other markets for Telefonica, as an example, that have allowed us with that experience to build with them in other markets, right? So in Colombia today, we do the larger part of their build out, and we were invited to bid on the work in Ecuador, which is a very interesting country that is dollar denominated and that has other good attributes with respect to going into that country, but principal being dollar, secondly being Telefonica, and doing the same thing that we've been doing since 2015, which is build a tower at a time and connect people across multiple communities.
So what are your typical contracts with these?
What's very exciting about that, and now's actually a great time to discuss inflation. One of the things that we have are 10-year non-cancelable contracts, right? So every time we build one of these towers, the anchor tenant and any other tenant that adds to it will typically have an obligation of minimum 10 years, right? And what's important about that is it not only gives you, the visibility to recurring revenue, but it also allows you to, have continuously growing revenues as you continue to add more tenants per tower and more towers to your entire portfolio. I think that's the number one item that stands out across all contracts. Secondly, across all contracts, there's something that today is resonating more than it was 3 years ago, is the inflation indexed escalators, right? So rather than having 1 or 2% as a fixed increase in our annual rent, it's attached to the local CPI. And I think that has been something very attractive to real estate investors, because at the end of the day, you can't make up for inflation on the next year or years to come with a tenant. So by having those clauses in there, I would say that today we also have the benefit of having that inflation protection. As we continue to move forward, those same contracts are in place, and we continue to just add more towers to the portfolio. So today we're at about 230 plus towers with 280 approximately tenants per those towers, right? So that means about 20% of our towers today have a second tenant, right? And I think that's very important because the second and the third tenant that we add to these towers, we have to put up zero additional CapEx, right? So that income goes straight to the bottom line. And basically, if we were to look at what our discipline is we're building towers on a cash on cash basis with about a 10-12% cap unlevered, right? So the ability to add a second tenant and take that to 20 plus is something that we're very excited about. And as we continue to move forward, I think, there's other asset classes that play to that same model, which include fiber, data centers, and others that are part of the same telecom infrastructure business.
To me, it seems as if each tower is like a REIT in terms of cash generation. Am I correct in that assumption?
100%, 100%. And what you find today is that the larger, call it tower companies that are in the market are REITs, right? And they have converted to REITs throughout time. We still have not done so. We still have a good, net carry of losses from the past. So, we haven't had that conversation yet, but we will. But all big tower companies have a focus as REITs right now. And actually, the number one United States REIT right now has one asset class, which are towers, right? And a lot of people don't know that. So they, sometimes see Class A buildings, self-storage, university, healthcare, or other type of REITs. But in the case of digital infrastructure, it's expanding more every day. There's more need for it every day. I think this whole COVID experience has, if anything, shed a big light on the conversation of connectivity. But also as we transition into 5G, what you're starting to see is the need of many more towers to be able to provide that service. So like I say, I think in the United States, you're still at the bottom of the first inning when it comes to 5G. And in simple terms, what that means is 15 to 20 times today's installed infrastructure. So there's a ton of room for growth. And I think that, investors should look at this asset class as one that, not only helps diversify their real estate holdings, but at the same time helps them take a bite of the connectivity conversation.
So what's next then for Tower One?
Well, I think, one of the things that we've done to date, and when I say to date is since 2015, we've been solely focused on built to suit, right? And the big difference between what we do and what our competitors do, and I don't even call them competitors because their model is just very different, is they buy, we build, right? So their model is go out and do M&A, buy towers back from either the carriers in each market and or other tower companies in the market. We build one tower at a time. So basically that's been our discipline to date. As we continue to grow with our customers in market, we've been approached and asked if we are interested in joining the fiber game. And I think it's a very complementary asset class to what we're doing today already. So we're on one or two different advanced conversations in that space that we will announce if we're successful at doing so. And the big difference is basically one tower is vertical, the other one's horizontal when it comes to fiber. But same metric, it's shared infrastructure, one asset that we lease to one or two carriers or three carriers in other markets, right?
Well, Alex, thank you for talking with us today. Sorry. I'm really looking forward to having an update on this again soon and talking with you more about this.
Thank you, Scott.
For everyone watching, until next time, good luck investing.